Hello and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Ben,
I'm Hunter.
and today we're going to be continuing the story of the Battle of Mogadishu with History by Hunter. So, without further ado, let's just get right back into it, man. I assume people are going to watch them in a two-part thing, so you know the whole spiel. Like and subscribe, give us a comment, do what you got to do, check out our shorts, playlists, yada, yada, yada. Hunter, Harry, man, start.
Okay, really quick rundown done by
Adamba.
a really quick. Oh my god,
A really quick cake to run down.
cake. A really quick rundown by a dumb guy to recap what we've already covered in the first part of this. Boy. Somalia is plunged into civil war because Siad Barre is removed. He was a dictator from the Cold War era.
The leader of SNA.
This causes a civil war. A few militant groups come out of it, the most prominent being the SNA, the Somali National Alliance. It's led by this fuckhead named Mohammed Farah Aidid. They're taking humanitarian aid from the Somalian people. The U.S. come in and say, hey, don't do that. They fuck up some of the guys, but accidentally kill some of the Somalian civilians. Pisses off everybody.
And then after that, the U.S. planned an operation to go back and kind of not necessarily get our revenge, but stop them from creating that militant group again after we had already killed Assad.
No, not Assad. Aidid's group was the Habergadir, or his clan was a Habergadir, and the SNA consisted mostly of those guys and dudes that Aidid liked. So Operation Gothic Serpent, which was where we left off, the very beginning of that was when we're trying to go in and capture some of Aidid's lieutenants to find out where he is.
And at this point, we have lost 5 troops. 1 is injured, and 1 named
Sergeant Dominic Pilla
has been killed in action, as well as Elvis Walcott and Bull Briley, who were the pilots of the first Black Hawk to go down for Crash Site 1. And then also Daniel Bush, who was one of the passengers on that Black Hawk, has also been killed at this point. And we kind of left off with them defending the crash site and their backup getting kind of lost.
Yep.
I think is where we were at. So let's get right back into it.
Guys coming to help get lost, and there's other guys approaching on foot who are taking fire the entire time. As they're approaching, Sergeant First Class Earl Robert Fillmore is killed.
Man, god damn it, dude. You had to start it off with another fucking guy getting killed. Dude, that's fucked up.
That's 6 now? 5 KIA, 1, I guess, wounded or injured.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. This is becoming more of a clusterfuck as we get further into it.
Another Black Hawk arrives at Crash Site 1 and immediately takes a direct hit from an RPG. However, the pilot manages to hold it steady while the guys rappel down to help out.
I thought you had said in the last episode that these Somali guys were terrible shots.
There's just so many of them. It's more just like...
But how many fucking RPGs do these motherfuckers have?
I mean, there's probably hundreds. Like, there were thousands of these fuckers, man.
Jesus Christ.
And they're on the rooftops and shit. And the helicopters are flying maybe 50 feet or so above the rooftops, most cases. And they have to do a lot of, like, hovering because they're, like, shooting or they're trying to, let dudes off and shit like that. So they're stationary for long enough for, 5, 6, 7 guys to fire off RPGs, and one of them's bound to hit. So now the convoy that got lost is starting to encounter impromptu roadblocks and, hostile people. A lot of these people, too, are civilians because they just fucking hate the U.S. because of Bloody Monday, and there's, like, everything always goes deeper than what most of the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of them just not happy with us, and they're kind of helping, like, hide these dudes. They're letting them go into their houses so they can cut through and fucking cut off and, this
For
and
sure.
that.
Yeah, so they're basically helping the Somali fighters.
Yeah.
The SNAs.
Same chopper, providing support after the guys rappelled down, gets hit again in the tail rotor. The helo tail spins, but the pilot manages to keep it steady and ends up crash landing, but it's upright. That's crash site 2. That's the second Black Hawk down.
Fantastic.
And immediately a mob starts approaching. Yeah, they got guns, they got rocks, they got all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Hey, man, what you got, James? I got rocks. What you got, Jim? I got a fucking gun, fucking moron.
Asshole.
Get your goddamn gun. You have 2.
But I don't have
Not
any
rocks. I need rocks.
And then yet another helicopter that had already been hit before gets hit again in the side, but they managed to sort of limp that one back home, back to the base. So none of those guys die. Helicopter's kind of fucked up. I'm sure they fixed it. So everybody's fighting. Mob's approaching the crash site 2. Delta snipers Randy Shugart and Gary Gordon are killed after running out of ammo while defending crash site 2. They literally ran out of bullets and
couldn't defend themselves. Yeah,
they were overwhelmed.
And those guys all probably had families, so
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucked up. At least in the way that we're talking about them, we're not de-dignifying their fucking deaths. The only guy we made fun of is a guy who didn't die.
Yeah.
I mean,
his old Butterfingers.
And we weren't even making fun of him. We were making fun of ourselves. If that, we're praising his recovery. But yeah, that's a goddamn shame. But it doesn't surprise me. Do you ever see those interviews of Don Lemon arguing with people about how they're better off than they were 4 years ago?
No.
Dude, it's hilarious. He goes up to people on the street and he's like, who do you feel like do you feel like you're better off than you were 4 years ago? And people are like, no, I'm paying more for this, I'm paying more for that. And he's like, actually, you know what? You're wrong, because you are better than you were you are better off than you were 4 years ago. And he just keeps correcting people about their own bills. It's like, no, Don Lemon, we're not rich millionaires, so we don't get all the tax breaks. Being a Democrat used to be the cool thing, man. You remember?
I remember.
I remember being excited.
I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah. I remember being excited to be a liberal. Barack Obama was kind of the shit.
Yeah.
For a while, but then it turned out he lied about fucking everything.
Yeah. And deported more.
It's 3 million people, and then dropped more bombs than he's killed. He basically has killed
on hospitals
more people,
and schools and shit.
Yeah. He's killed more people by his orders than any other president in history. And one of our presidents had a fucking civil war. So think about that for a fucking hot second.
Yeah. You were getting really heated about that.
Dude, I'm actually really am heated about it, because I think it's fucked up. I fell for a lie from a guy who's good at talking.
Yeah, he was very stately.
And he seemed like he knew what he was talking about, but he would tell you something to your face and then behind your back do something else. Mm-hmm. It again goes to reaffirm why I never voted, because if I had voted for him, I would feel like a fucking idiot. I would feel like a traitor because of what he did. I mean, and then he's charging people who don't have insurance extra on their tax. Dude, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I've been, a taxpayer since 2008. When I turned 18, I got a job or 2009 or something around then. I got my first job, and since then I've been a regular taxpayer. I can tell you that I've never gotten more money back. When Democrats are presidents, I don't get any money back.
Yeah,
I don't get shit back. And in fact, more gets taken away. There was 1 year with Obama where I only got $50 back on my tax return.
There was one year.
You know how ridiculous that is?
Yes, there was 1 year under Obama. I actually had to pay in.
That's insane. You don't make enough to pay in. No offense.
It was $21, but
still, fuck you for your $21. Why don't you fucking take it out of your fucking bomb money, you fucking asshole?
And I went to
Why don't you stop deporting all the fucking Mexicans and maybe let us have our fucking money?
Yeah.
The deportation thing, we've talked about it privately, and we're not going to ever talk about that on air. It's a very complicated issue, and we both have kind of wish-washy feelings about it. Mm-hmm. But the shit, like with Obama, it's a personal thing. I felt like I was fooled. I felt tricked. I felt betrayed. And I'm like, I really believed in this guy, and this is what he does. I learned not to do it twice.
Exactly. I mean, our system of this, lesser of two evils.
I'll take the lesser of two evils that gives me more money back in my pocket.
Well, yeah, and that's how most people vote. At least Americans, we don't vote depending, what's best for the greater good. We vote as,
No, like,
what can this dude do for me?
Probably 70% of Americans who are like the middle class vote for what keeps more money in my pocket. Mm-hmm. And that's just how we vote. What makes things cheaper? Who can I vote for to make shit cheaper? And they both make shit more expensive and make our dollar worth less.
Yep.
So,
and now you have people saying that, if you're a fence sitter, you're in the middle, you don't like either party or whatever, then
you're just as bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck those people. They don't even know what they're talking about.
Maybe have some, independent thought and just take in information and come to your own conclusions depending on the information you're getting.
Well, that's what I do. When I like look at a guy that I'm like, oh, I think this guy is good. I'm like, it doesn't matter if he's a Democrat or a Republican or any party, just as long as they are saying the things that make it seem like can make the most sense.
Make it seem like it.
Yeah. Not promise, overpromise. That's what I can't stand. All these, we live in America, and God, you guys are so fucking dumb. I just want all of you to know how dumb you are as like regular voters, because you fall for the stupidest shit. Yeah. They've been every president who's ever been president has been promising the same thing for the last like 70 years, and none of them have ever actually given it. So why do we still vote for the same two parties?
Yeah.
Explain that shit to me. Why do we allow that shit to happen? We are just dumb as a society.
Yeah. We constantly vote against our own interests.
We doom ourselves because we're stuck with two fucking dumbass parties that don't, neither of them has it right.
No. And there are other parties, but they don't stand a chance.
No, I mean, Green Party, that's laughable.
Yeah.
I don't even think that Green Party person got 1 million votes.
I think even the Whigs are still a thing.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Fucking idiots. I just think you should just vote for the person who actually has a realistic thing that they can offer.
But I don't think they make it past like the primaries.
No, not in their individual parties. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think that we have like basically 2 or 3 choices for the leader of the country, and not like thousands.
Anyway, at this point, the UN puts together a quick response force, and they attempt to enter the city, but are immediately overwhelmed and retreat.
The UN did that?
Yeah.
Are these like the ones from before, the Pakistani, the Iranians you said as well? Malaysians.
Oh yeah, we definitely weren't Iranians.
Are we like not?
We've never been cool with Iran.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought there was a point, but I don't know.
I think the Iran's called, along with like North Korea and shit like that, it's called, what are they called? A rogue nation or some shit like that.
Wow. News to me.
Yeah. Boring. No. So at this point, we have all the downed helicopters, shit's in disarray. Nothing is going as planned. Like nothing. The one thing that went right is they got the lieutenants out. So militia starts charging U.S. positions. They're pushing civilians ahead of them. Either because the civilians are so pissed off they want to be a part of the fight, or they're literally sticking a gun in their back and saying, you're going to run ahead of us as meat shields. And at first, the U.S. soldiers are picking their shots. They're taking single shots. They're going for general mass, which is like your torso, your heart, your lungs, shit like that, or headshots. They're trying to hit only militia dudes, but they're not slowing down. They're coming. So eventually, our guys have to switch to full auto and just start mowing down the entire fucking crowd of them. So men, women, children, everybody are getting killed.
Why did you want to tell me this story?
Because it kind of shows just like how we tend to like get involved in stuff we really have no business being in. But it also highlights kind of how incredible our military is. Like our guys. You have thousands of people trying to kill these people, our guys, and everybody has limits. I mean, it's literally a war crime to do what we did just then. Is like opening up on a crowd. Like literally, the world says we should have just let them kill us. So it's considered a war crime that we just opened up on the crowd. And we end up fighting into the night. And the only reason we don't run out of ammo is because helicopters are managing to get through and drop, give us ammo drops. And it's the only reason we're able to keep fighting. I say we because I don't know. People tend to do that.
America.
Obviously, I wasn't there. I was 6 years old. I was never in the military.
America.
Yeah, we're all Americans. It's just easier to say we and us and shit rather than...
America.
Yeah. And to bring the mood back down, Corporal Jamie Smith is shot in the thigh, it hit his femoral artery, and ends up bleeding out in the night. The medics couldn't really do anything for him. But then, another UN peacekeeper convoy, a better equipped and, better planned one, they come through with APCs and tanks, and APCs are armored personnel carriers, and they start heading into the city. Some of the vehicles still are disabled by locals, by like roadside bombs, ambushes, and shit like that. So some of those vehicles are taken out. And the lead Malaysian APC driver, Corporal Mat Aznan Ong, was killed when his vehicle was struck by an RPG. And 7 more Malaysians and 2 Pakistanis were wounded. Even getting into the city with tanks and armored vehicles, they're still getting fucked up. Trying to get in there to save our guys. Pakistanis and Malaysians.
That's an interesting too. I didn't realize Pakistan and America ever had a
Yeah. Well, at least
relationship.
we did back in the 90s.
Malaysians too. I thought both of those countries just absolutely despised like them.
I don't know what our relations are with Malaysia right now, but pretty sure it's iced over quite a bit with Pakistan. So then they reach the crash site eventually, but they don't find anybody. So they head on and make their way over to crash site 1, which was the first helicopter that went down.
In the very, very, very beginning, in the very beginning of our story here.
Yep. Same helicopter that Blackburn fell out of.
Really? That's the same one?
Yeah, crash site 1. Fighting all through the night. 5:45 a.m., the convoy finally surrounds the crash site. Our guys and the Malaysians fight into, bright morning. They now have cover from the Pakistani tanks and stuff like that. And they're trying to get all their wounded and dead loaded up into the vehicles and stuff like that. However, there's no room for the guys that are still able to fight because it's full of dead and injured dudes. So they have to follow the convoy on foot, making their way to Mogadishu Stadium. So because if they can get to the stadium, they can obviously, blockade it and keep people from getting in, and they can bring in helicopters and shit into the stadium to start airlifting people out. A bunch of guys have to go on foot, and it came to be known as the Mogadishu Mile because they're fighting the whole fucking way.
Oh, okay. So they're taking fire the whole way then, I'm assuming as well.
But eventually they catch up to the convoy, and they successfully make it into Mogadishu Stadium, ending the battle.
So that was the end of it?
Yeah. Then we finally got all of our dead and injured out, and...
It was a fucking terrible gothic serpent. I mean, it's fitting. The name is just as bad as how it went.
Yeah.
Maybe if we called it fucking Operation GI Fuck 'em Up, Joe, maybe it would have went a little bit better.
Maybe if we'd have sent Rambo and
fucking Terminator.
and
we just should have fucking did a shadow campaign of Terminator in the 90s in Somalia.
Yeah.
And then just showed up with Schwarzenegger. Be like, we got him. You guys are fucked.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh shit.
This is my Terminator now. That's crazy to think about, dude. So basically, the ending of this was just getting the fuck out of there.
Yep. Yeah, we got our asses handed to us. So the guy doing Overwatch during this whole thing was General William Garrison.
Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Garrison, okay.
Okay, General Garrison.
And the Secretary of Defense, Les Aspin, take full responsibility for how this whole thing went. Aspin actually ended up resigning because of it. Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, that tracks.
President Clinton told all U.S. forces to get the fuck out of Somalia. And later on, I don't know how much later, but the SNA IDs...
It can be later on he got a blowjob. Because it would have been a couple years later.
Might have been why he didn't know a lot of this was going on until they had to report it to him.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't fuck Hillary. I mean, I wouldn't fuck Hillary with your cock, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck her with a dildo. Fucking A.
That's pour bleach on your shit right there.
Pour bleach on my eyes if I ever seen her vagina.
Oh, God. No, never mind. I'm not even going there.
Yep, don't even do it.
Anyway, later on, the SNA, the Somali National Alliance, which is ID's group, SNA, they expressed that, the whole point, they knew they wouldn't be able to defeat the U.S. in like a full-out war, but they knew that historically, Congress, but more importantly, U.S. citizens, are very intolerant of losing soldiers. So if we start finding out our guys are getting killed, we start saying, hey, start putting an end to this shit. And the Somalis knew that.
You know what's kind of crazy is because we didn't discuss this episode beforehand, but every time you talked about a soldier being killed, like you could hear it in my voice that it was upsetting to me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. So that's weird that's kind of, the final conclusion of it. Then they were right. It is fucking intolerable.
Yeah.
I mean, every time it was happening, I'm like, fucking goddamn.
Yeah.
Fucking Danny Bush.
And
all them boys.
And the Somalis are literally willing to just throw human life at a thing until it goes away. So, and they knew that. So.
Well, those Somalis, right? Or was it just Somalia in general?
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess that is a generalization I should be clear about. These guys are like fanatics.
Yeah, guys, so keep in mind, we're not talking about the general Somali people. We don't know much
Although a
about,
lot of them were very unhappy with the U.S.
Which is fair. The Bloody Monday sounded awful.
And who knows what else?
I'd be furious at the U.S. too.
Right.
But at the same time, we're talking about like extremist groups, essentially, who is conducting this. Yeah. So when Hunter says Somalians, I don't think he's referring to...
I'm talking about the militant groups.
Exactly. He's talking about like the Somali terrorists / militant groups that were trying to basically coup each other in a way.
Yeah, they're cooing the shit out of each other.
Yeah, cooing the fuck. Cooing the fucking shit everywhere.
And that kumbaya.
Yeah, so just so everyone's aware, we don't, we make jokes about Somali pirates every once in a while, but that's just because that fucking Tom Hanks movie cracked me up. This is my boat now. That shit is hilarious.
I am the captain now.
I don't know why, but just Tom Hanks with a mustache being like, okay. Like pretending to be French because, they surrender everything. And that is meant to be offensive because French people, when's the last time you won a war?
That guy wasn't French. He was American.
Was he American?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was French. They took
he
a
might
French
have
boat.
A French name, but
no, I was pretty positive they took a French boat.
we could look it up later.
No, look it up now.
Out of like the less than 200, about 160 U.S. troops, there's 18 dead and 73 wounded. As far as the Somalis go, there were about 200 killed in action and 700 wounded, according to the Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders. The SNA estimated about 315 killed in action and 812 wounded.
That's a lot more.
So, yeah. So,
we won. Yeah! America!
And we did achieve the goal that we originally went in there to do was...
Yeah, goddamn American goals!
was we got the 2 lieutenants out.
America.
But this is almost what you would call a Pyrrhic...
America.
So we achieved our goal. However, this is what was... this is what is often referred to as a Pyrrhic victory, which comes from King Pyrrhus of the Epirus era or whatever the fuck. King Pyrrhus of Epirus, I don't know. He defeated the Romans at the Battle of Heraclea, but he lost like most of his army. And if he were to have to fight another large battle, he wouldn't have been able to because he had lost so many people. So he won, but he lost almost everything because of it. So when that happens, you call it a Pyrrhic victory.
I call it an American victory.
America! Fuck yeah! Little bit of good news here. Robert Oakley, the U.S. ambassador to Somalia, did manage to negotiate the release of pilot Michael Durant. It was only estimated to take about an hour, and it lasted about 15.
War never changes.
People like to act like there's rules in war. There really isn't.
Yeah. So same with the fight, man.
Yeah, so eventually Clinton orders all U.S. forces out of Somalia, and we never really went back. After everything that happened, we negotiate with Aidid to, basically for peace and, ceasefire, whatever you want to call it. President Clinton orders all U.S. forces out of Somalia, and we never went back to this day.
Well, that's probably was for the best, in all honesty. It didn't seem like it went very well the first time.
Yeah. And honestly, we really had nothing to gain there.
Yeah, it was more like a retaliatory attack.
Kind of.
And just trying to
us-
almost like preventative terrorism.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird thing that we as the United States do. I get it because I mean honestly it probably has prevented a lot of terrorist attacks, but also like you're convicting and judging people before the action has even taken place. But again, I'm American, so if I see a terrorist go down by American hands, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely flawed and have a lot of problems, and our country's almost split in two right now.
I mean, I remember when they showed the picture of Osama bin Laden's dead body, it looked like somebody had stomped on his face, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that fucker. Dude, I don't know, that was haunting as a kid, 9/11. It was
wild.
Watching people jump out of buildings is disgusting. It's hard to get the visual out of your head.
Yeah, we never really experienced anything like that in the U.S. before.
No. Well, it'd been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, what, Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, probably would have been the last time that we were significantly attacked on U.S. soil.
Event. Yeah,
and that's not even mainland U.S. soil. That was totally different too in an aspect. Hawaii's kind of out there by itself.
And that concludes the Battle of Mogadishu. A movie about that called Black Hawk Down, which I highly recommend, is, from the people that were there, is fairly accurate. There were some liberties taken because that's Hollywood, but I highly encourage everybody to check that out. This was History by Hunter, and I had fun doing it, and I look forward to doing it again. Let me know let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, comment. I really want to know what you guys thought of this. Ben, anything to add, buddy?
Yeah, I found it hard. I mean, it was hard to find. Oh well, whatever. Never mind.
Deep. This is Garage Talk. I'm Hunter. Like, subscribe, comment, and be sure to catch us next time.